Welcome to my very first episode of Coffee with Kikki. I'm so happy that you are here, so please grab a coffee and get comfortable. Today, I had the opportunity to speak to two of the most incredible women I've ever met. Carole and Amanda are sisters that have combined their strengths and designed programs that support the retail leader in building their dreams and empowering their success. Their objective is to nurture a retail community of support and learning, focused on developing more effective leadership in the retail space. We speak about their humble beginnings, we speak about their journey, and also the hurdles that they've needed to overcome. They are an incredible and energetic duo, and I just want to take this moment to say thank you to Carole and Amanda for being so open and honest and sharing their story. I know that it will go a long way and that many people will appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy it. Carole and Amanda, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a cup of coffee with me. It's so wonderful to see you guys.
Absolutely amazing. We have our coffee.
Thank you very much. And I have my mega pint of coffee here as well.
So we probably
I'm so happy to have you here making history as my first ever guests. Thank you.
Yay! Trailblazers! Trendsetters!
Amazing. Yeah, I love your energy. Amazing. Now you are the amazing co-founders of the Carole and Amanda brand, right? So first of all, massive congratulations, because I can't begin to tell you how wonderful it is following your journey and seeing how far you guys have come. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
We must be affirmation. You know what? It's well deserved. You guys are amazing. Now, you run a very successful training agency, right? And I would love for you to start by telling us about your business and how your collaborative journey started.
Okay, me.
This is your one.
Me, yeah. I've got the stage. So I'm Amanda of Carole and Amanda. Next up, I am the youngest of the two. I always have to put that in there.
She will say that wherever she is.
By 5 years.
I was going to say, next she'll add on how many years.
Hence why it's Carole and Amanda. Because she's the oldest, and in all Christmas cards, birthday cards, anything that we ever received as a family unit was always Helen, Colin, Carole, Amanda, and our brother Sean. So it was just a natural name that came to us, Carole and Amanda. And we own a business that helps retail leaders to formulate a plan and a strategy to increase productivity within their business, to increase profit. So our brand came about when in 2020, we all remember those dark days. Been so far now that we're all throwing our masks away today.
Sanitizer, my hands can come back to normality.
Yes. And in 2020, I had the rug pulled out from underneath me. I was retrenched, as many of us were. And I come from a corporate background in learning and development for the retail space. I worked for Estee Lauder group of companies, specifically MAC Cosmetics, for 15 years. And Carole also had a change in perspective and left her position in marketing.
I worked for corporate marketing for 20 years and had decided with 2 young children and being a single mom that I did not want to work those hours anymore. And I would rather spend the time with my children. So I started my own business pre-COVID, but still started it. And as just life happened, we found that commonality, and Amanda had a dream.
I had a dream. And with my corporate years and working within the retail space, I developed a passion for creating a culture of learning and developing retail leaders to success. And I found that within the retail space, there was a link missing between the development of the retail employee on the shop floor. And I felt extremely passionate about uplifting the career of retail employees and to ensure that they are moving forward. And in our greatest vision is to have a retail community of nurturing retail community of leadership and learning, and also just uplifting the retail space and the career in retail in South Africa as well. So with the retrenchment, I turned to my big sister and I was like, I have a dream. Want to do it with me?
Yeah.
And I was very blessed in that Carole said, let's do it. And that's how we've always wanted to work together. And we have very different strengths and very different personalities. And I asked her, please, would you support me? And as my big sister, she did. And Carole and Amanda began. And we decided, let's start Carole and Amanda, create a learning and development retail training platform for all our retail leaders out there.
Yeah. In a nutshell.
The smallest nut.
But that is such an amazing story, such an amazing journey, and such an amazing niche that you've actually chosen in this space. And I want to talk also about your journey as co-founders, right? Because every co-founder situation is different. But one common problem that I've come across is, and that keeps popping up, revolves around how founders engage in conflict. Sometimes there's either not enough or there's not too much. How do you navigate the waters being not only co-founders, but sisters as well?
I just push off the chair. It's my turn to talk. No, jokes.
No, there's no conflict. I'm the oldest and what I say goes.
I love it. You think you're joking? Yeah, no, it's really it's hierarchy here, people. No.
So we don't, I suppose a lot of people will say like, oh, don't go into business with family. Whereas we're of the mindset of, well, go into business with family, at least you know what they're like and who they are. Whereas you go to business with a complete stranger, you don't know anything about them, and they could be just as detrimental to you and your business. But that said, it depends on what your family dynamic is. We come from a very strong family, very sort of humbled roots, and parents who both worked hard. Our father had his own business, and our mom worked her way up from being a seamstress to the quality technologist of Woolworths, with not even a standard 8 qualification. So, we had that grounding. As children, we conflicted a lot because there's 5 years difference between the two of us. So I was always leaving a phase and Amanda was entering it. So we were constantly, I suppose, at war with each other as kids.
War isn't what I would say. It was war.
But we had a family environment that sorted it out. Like, we had a very open family who could talk and chat, and we were a very loving family, and we were able to resolve, like, you can get feisty and irritated and upset with people. Obviously, watch your words and be careful of how you speak to them. There's consequences to every behavior, but also you can love it out, and family is family. And I think so we got a lot of our dark days out when we were younger and in our 20s. And possibly, Amanda and I didn't always get along. As in siblings, like, we got along. We didn't always get along. Amanda's closest relationship, if you want to look at the three of us as children, was our younger brother, because they're closer in age. I was kind of always the outsider because I was older, 5 years and 8 years older. And it was possibly only when Amanda really started sort of having her own family and her own children that we started to find the common ground again and the understanding. And that also just comes with age and realizing that also, whilst we grew up in the same family, we're also two very different people. And also, again, coming back to our parents, they very much advocated that. They didn't raise us. We had the same foundations, obviously, as a family, but we were all raised to be our own people. And so the right time, this has come along where we were able to start the conversation of let's get into business, knowing that we've pretty much had the fights, and we know how to deal with each other. Obviously, the fights that you have as a family and a sister versus, if you want to call them conflicts in your business, are different. But we actually don't tend to have those because first of all, we practice what we preach. So as part of our retail program that we offer, two very key aspects is understanding personalities, so the people that you work with. We do a module on the personalities of your team, and understanding that the personality of that person is how you deal with them and how they deal with you. And once you have that understanding of that person's personality, it's a lot easier to understand how they react a certain way, why they do certain things in a different way to you, why you react to them differently, because now you understand your personality better. So we also put those practices into our own business. Our personalities are different. Amanda is a process person, so she takes time to not understand things, but if I throw an idea at her, so I'm an ideas person, and I'll run with it. Whereas Amanda's a process. So I could take her sort of stalling and thinking as her hating my idea and not having confidence in me, and I could turn that into a conflict. But I know that she's just sitting with the idea and thinking about it, and I will give her the time. She also knows that I'm an ideas and action person and trusts me enough to let me run with it. So we have that understanding in terms of our personalities. We also know when to leave each other alone. If we're having an off day, I will recognize Amanda's moments. I don't have off days. I understand her personality. I do. And she understands mine, and also we're comfortable enough, I suppose. So the sister aspect of it is that we know we're not going to get judged. So if I am having a bad day, which I might be doing, I've got 2 young children, I'm a single mom, it's been a bad school drop off, and I need an hour. I can say to her, I'm going to a coffee shop. I just need to pull myself towards myself. I'm not feeling on top of my game right now. I'll be in the office just now, and I'm not being judged for it. And I'm not being, oh my gosh, look at her only rocking up at 10 o'clock. There's that understanding, and vice versa. If Amanda's had a difficult email that she's received and it's got her a little bit flummoxed, I understand her personality. I know she also needs that time to just sort of retreat a little bit and compose herself. So it's working with your sister in the conflicts that we actually we understand her. And then also there are moments though where we just talk.
Communication is very important to us. And we also have two different job descriptions. So we are, even though we are a family-run business as in sisters, we have still set up the processes for a successful business. So we know what our vision is, we know what our culture is, and we live by those values that we've inputted right at the beginning in 2020. We have followed through that vision, and we have 2 very different job descriptions. So when Carole has her ideas and action, I have to trust the process because it's not my strength. It's not in my job description, and I just have to let her go with it. And then amazing things come out. Whereas with me, with coaching, I mean, I think to myself, sometimes I get onto this camera and I just start talking. I'm like, she doesn't know what I'm going to say or do. And she just trusts me, and she knows that I have my physical strength, and she allows me to do it. So I think, 2 different, making sure you have that structure within the business, job descriptions, values, missions, and a strategy statement and communication and understanding different types of personalities. Summing it up.
Oh my word, that is so amazing.
You're making us sound
we're not perfect.
We're not perfect. We do have moments. We do give each other looks.
Yes.
I love listening to that, because the bottom line and what I'm taking away from this is a great deal of maturity, a great deal of understanding yourself first. And that allows you to then understand the next person. And the fact that you guys are family, it makes it so much better because you have different skill sets. and you know that the one is stronger in that area than the other. And with those powers combined, this, like you said, magic happens. And it's that trust that you put in each other that this is going to be a success. We are taking it, we have common goals. We are taking this further. This is our dream, and we're going to make it a reality. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. It's amazing. Now, on this journey, and it's a journey of self-discovery also, and about the business. So having a family, and I absolutely love this picture right here. Look at that. Amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. You know, I love following your journey, but on your journey, you know, having a family and running a business, it can become overwhelming at times, right? But I seem to feel that you guys have it down to a fine art right now. So, mix have you adopted to establish business and personal life?
Well, we, within that structure that we spoke about, job descriptions and having our values and our culture all readily and waiting for us, and it's something that we always go back to. So Carole and I, we ensure that we have specific, we manage our time very well. Yeah, we have a time calendar that we stick to, and we ensure that on, for example, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are our work days, and Mondays and Fridays are our free flow days. So it's not that we don't work on those days, it's more that we don't plan anything into our time calendar to ensure that as moms, as business owners, as managing homes, as the psychologist to the 5-year-old and explaining why you can't buy your Ninjago sets because 50 Rand is not enough. All those hats that we have to wear.
Why you can't sleep in your PE clothes. That was me last night. Why can't I sleep in my PE clothes? It'll be a lot quicker to go to school tomorrow.
I mean, why? I don't know. There are so many hats that we have to wear. So giving us the time on a Monday and Friday to ensure that we're managing those hats really assists us with being extremely productive and proactive on the Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Yeah. We also had to take a leap of faith in knowing that Matthew was getting older, so I had a while. Yeah. So when we started this business in 2020, surprise, I was pregnant. That was fun. I didn't know when we started, but it's been an amazing journey. And at the moment, Matthew is turning 1 on the 30th.
Wow,
so
fantastic.
Excited.
Congratulations.
Can't even. My baby's turning 1 already.
Just that she's realized how long, not like, and I don't say long as in like, oh my gosh, it's been so long, but how long this journey has been, like how many years?
Yeah, it's been for like,
I mean, you've been pregnant, you had a baby, and he's turning 1.
No, it's
puts it into perspective. Yeah.
So much can happen. So with that, we realized that I need to free up my time, and Carole isn't able to assist me anymore with Matthew because now he is crawling. He's not walking yet, but he's busy and he needs somebody to nurture him and be with him 24/7, right? So we had to take a little bit of a leap of faith and going, okay, so we need to get a nanny. And as I didn't have one. And so I think, 3 months ago, we realized, let's get in a nanny for Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that will free up Amanda's time to be able to work on the business and hopefully bring in the cash flow to pay the nanny. So we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
And it's working beautifully. So sometimes you just need to trust yourselves. You need to realize that who came first, the chicken or the egg, like the nanny or the baby. I don't know, the nanny or the time. And that's what we've done. But also we have
set boundaries. So
we do set boundaries.
So we have a workspace, which is what we're in now. We have an office. We work from home, but we don't work in the house. So we work from my home. But we've created an office space away from the house. So we go to the office and we do that on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday. And it's amazing how productive you can be. Like, you'll have moments, especially in winter now, which I swear is for bears. Like, we should all be hibernating. the alarm goes off and I don't want to wake up. I don't want to work. I don't want to take kids to school. Like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And I'll have that moment driving to school like, oh, I have my own business. Do I really need to work today? Like, I don't really,
Yes, you do.
But then you get here and you go to the office and we sit in our space and it's amazing what you get done by just creating that space and creating that we know Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are ours. We work on the business. If we have any meetings to schedule, we know we schedule them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. We try to keep the Mondays and Fridays free. And that's how we've managed to be productive. And those are the boundaries we set. We also, we don't talk business on the weekends. Although we love what we do, we don't talk business on the weekends because also we don't catch up on each other. Like we were actually laughing the other day. Amanda's husband was asking Amanda like how I was. I think my family and I, we'd been away for the weekend and he was like, so how was the weekend away? And Amanda was like, I don't know. Yeah. And he was like, but you've been with her the whole day. And we're like, yes, we've been working, Surprise, we work. And then also we had to set boundaries, when you have your own business, it's very tempting. You are so passionate about it and you want to make it work and you do love what you do. And so sometimes you want to answer those emails at 9:00 at night time, or you want to answer that WhatsApp message that's come through from a client and you actually have to be, I can't, and we can't relate onto each other. I think we did that once and we learned very quickly not to do that again. I think we got a feedback from a potential client at the time who didn't quite understand what we were offering, and it was a little bit of an awkward conversation, and I incorrectly messaged it to Amanda at like 8:00 at night time, and it actually caused Amanda so much anxiety because she's a perfectionist and she wants people to understand what she's trying to do. And so that whole night she didn't sleep. I didn't sleep because it's my business and I knew I'd kind of upset her inadvertently. And the next morning we dealt with it and we were like, okay, right, you know what? Like actually, like I can't do that. I can't screenshot messages or emails, whether they're exciting ones or bad news ones, and send them to you after our working hours. It's unfair as much as you're my sister. So we also learn it as we go along, and we've set these boundaries. We have a routine. Routine is crucial, but we also allow for a bit of agility and fluidity. And we do have kids. Because we work with each other, we help each other out. Amanda had a very big project she had to finish on Tuesday. I went and fetched Sam for her son. I was like, look, I've got to go fetch my children. I'll fetch yours along the way. I'm more than happy to do that. So we do also help each other, and that's then the other flip side of owning a business and having your own business and working with your sister. We help each other when we need to with that. I think I went over the top of that question.
No, not at all. I absolutely love it. Because what you're talking about now, there's a lot of people that do run businesses, that do have families, and all of that would actually help. You have to have a support. And the wonderful thing about the two of you is you're working partners, you own a business together, and you're supporting each other. And there's a lot, from what I'm hearing, there's a great deal of thought that has gone into this, a great deal of also trial and error, but you had an idea of what you wanted going in. And that was the foundation that you had. And everything is also trial and error, what works, what doesn't, setting those boundaries, which I absolutely love, and also pushing those boundaries to test yourself, to see how far can we go, how far can we take this, but everything within reason. And that's why I believe you have found this balance. And if not 100%, it's definitely in the right direction to getting that, and obviously to scale the business, to grow. Yeah,
we're also always learning, and that's the thing. That's about being an entrepreneur, is that you're always learning, and you've got to be we hate throwing those latest trendy catchphrases out, but you've got to be fluid, agile. Know what your foundation is, but adapt to it. Because being an entrepreneur and being your own business person and being moms and wives and partners and that, you've got to be fluid. And also your reason for starting this business. So along with having set our visions and our foundations, knowing why we chose to do this. And one of the biggest reasons why for me was my two young children. I was not spending enough time with them in the afternoon, and I wanted to spend more time with them. That's why when Amanda came to me and said, I have this idea, I have this dream, I want to start my own business, I was like, yes, please, because that I need more time with my family. And so as your own entrepreneur, you've got to remember that too. You're having days when you come from a corporate mindset, it's very easy, or you kind of fall back into habits. I mean, 20 years in corporate, I'm used to I always love people say 9 to 5. I'm like, who started at 9? 8 till 5. You know? Yeah, who starts at 8 till 6?
True, yes.
I mean, Dolly Parton in her 9 to 5, she got that so wrong. 8 till 6. And you go into that same, you can default back to that similar mindset of like, oh, you know, I must work the whole day. And like, no, actually, some days, even though we give ourselves Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, some days we've done it all by 12 o'clock. And the corporate in you goes, I must keep working. And then you sit at the computer and you're just idling your day away. And you're like, what? That's so silly. And like Amanda phoned me yesterday. She had a training session and she phoned me at 12 o'clock. And she said, can I take the afternoon off? And I laughed. I don't have anything to do today. I've done everything. And I was like, let me think about it. You know, where a council was like, I have nothing that you need to deliver to me by today. There's no deadline. We'll see you tomorrow. So of course, go enjoy your afternoon. So also embrace that as an entrepreneur. I would like to think as if you've started your own business journey, you're disciplined enough to know when you are starving and when you just need the break, or just enjoying the fact that you're an entrepreneur and you're not working for somebody else, and take that time because you'll put in the hours somewhere else. I mean, I didn't take last Thursday off, public holiday. I worked. Yeah. You know, so it's checks and balances, as they say. I forgot what the question was, though, so I've completely gone. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. We were talking about your balance, the work-life balance. But you just raised a very interesting point right now, and I think it's very important because it's a total mind shift, moving from a corporate mind shift into an entrepreneur business space or business owner mind shift. And that transition is sometimes not very easy, but I'm glad that you brought it up because it is a huge transition that you have to make. It's like you're working for yourself. There's nobody that's going to grab you and drag you over the coals. I mean, for lack of a better analogy.
I'm not been over those coals. They hurt.
And it's amazing. I mean, I love that you said you sat and you wondered, I'm done. Can I go for the day? It's so funny thinking about it.
But that's about the communication that we have. And Carole is the same thing to me as well. Like, I would like to take the afternoon off. I've done X, Y, and Z. And that's the communication and the respect that we have for each other as co-founders.
Yeah. And if I may add, perhaps work ethic as well, because you're mature enough to know what's expected of you. You've done it. There's no micromanagement needed, right? Because you understand what's required of each of you. And that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
We also don't know what we do. I don't know how to do your job. She doesn't know how to do mine. So
the areas of expertise are very different. And those powers that you have.
No, if Carole to be like, can you jump in and help me? I'll be like, I can't do what you do.
Not a chance, yeah. But it's amazing. And I mean, eventually there'll be some cross-skilling and you'll come to understand terms and how to do things. But your key area is your focus right now. That's driving the business forward and it's working well. And I'm like I said, it's fantastic watching the two of you in action. Now, so what's the biggest failure if you had one, and what's the best lessons that you've learned from them?
Failure? We don't fail. What do you mean?
Stumbling blocks.
I look at this place. These look like failing faces. I don't. So we actually we were thinking about this the other day. I don't know so much if we want to say failure, because if we try to teach our children all the time, you keep trying, you keep trying, keep trying. You only fail when you haven't tried, right? So I suppose that we've had some moments for sure where we've gone, well, that didn't work. But everything we do has taken us a step forward in our journey. So like you said, we've been doing this for 2 years now, all right? And we are moving forward. We are succeeding. We are building this community. So everything we do, we don't really see it so much as a failure, but as a lesson learned. And we've just had, what we do is we adapt, we always, after everything we do, go, okay, how did that work out for us? I suppose our biggest lesson is that we've had to manage our own expectations. So we came into this business obviously with a big dream and a big hype and a big understanding of what we wanted to do, and we had these huge goals. We're going to put out our first program. We're going to get 20 people on this program. Life's going to be good. And we got
that didn't happen.
We got to, and it was very humbling and very, okay, why did that not work? We put all the processes in place that we were supposed to. We wanted 20 people. We did everything we were supposed to be. Why did we not? And at that point, we could have got very despondent and gone, okay, actually, this isn't going to work. But A, we weren't prepared to do that, and B, Amanda was pregnant, so we had no choice but to persist because she couldn't go back into corporate life. No one's hiring a 6-month pregnant woman.
Right.
So we had no choice but to keep going and to really analyze. So we analyzed that situation and we learned from it and we carried on and we've improved and we've improved and we've improved. And there are some dark days where we go, oh my word, like when is it just going to work? But everything we do gets us closer to it working, and it is building, and we are growing, and we've got some amazing clients on board. Perhaps I think like any business owner maybe, or entrepreneur, look, we all have these big goals and strive, and we all like, I want to say sort of type A, want to achieve personalities. So we always want to be doing better. And after every session, we're always like, we want more. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. But yeah, we've just had to learn to manage sort of our own expectations and just keep adapting and keep changing. But in the same way, and just keeping that, so we come back to that vision and that foundation and our why. Why are we doing this? What is our vision? What is our end objective? And for us, our end objective is just always to nurture a retail community of support and learning. And if we just keep going with that, because also what perhaps many of your listeners don't know and might feel the same is that not everybody understands your vision. So retail learning and development is not a topic that retailers understand. We come, and that's probably been it is actually still our biggest challenge. Retailers, people in general are hesitant to change and hesitant to learn. We've got this mindset of like, it's like going back to school, and not many of us enjoyed our school days. And if we do, it certainly wasn't for the learning part of it. It was more for the social aspects or the sports side of it. So when they hear learning and development, everyone just go, oh my gosh, I've got to change. I've got to give time to this, to already a busy schedule. And retail, what does retail need to learn? You go in, you sell a product, you smile, you give them a packet and they walk out. It's like, what do you mean? And we've had so many barriers that we've like come in, like sort of hit along the way, where we've had to nurture and explain what we do and why we do it. And it can be sometimes very frustrating because you just want to show people, please understand our vision, please. And as the marketer in the business, I've had to find different ways of trying to communicate it, and that for me has been a challenge. And I spend late nights, when I'm supposed to be sleeping, going, how do I get this message across? But we just keep going and we keep adapting. And the people, the retailers who have embraced learning and development, it is amazing when you see that moment in their business or in themselves, where they realize how they are learning themselves and how they're developing their team within. So my message to other entrepreneurs is, whatever your space is that you're operating in, if your vision is clear and your purpose is clear and your why is clear, just keep going, but hold that strong, because there are days where we've looked at each other and gone, what are we doing? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And some people, like, we've got a beautiful retail community, but others can be quite harsh on your dream. because they don't understand it. And we've had, not criticism, but we've had some, like, basically, we don't need you. And it's hard when people say they don't need you. You're like,
I'm like, but you do.
but you do. So failures, not so much, because we're always learning.
Yes.
But we've definitely hit some roadblocks, and we've definitely had some moments and learned a lot of lessons along the way. Also, I suppose, if I can end this by saying, start how you want to finish. I know that sounds a bit funny, but when you got your own business, you just want to give and give and give and give. And a lesson we were taught right in the beginning, which we applied 60%, was set your boundaries. Don't, what we all do as entrepreneurs, know your worth. Don't undervalue yourself. Don't give too much of yourself away. Have those time slots, like, how am I going to communicate? Only on email. I'm not giving people my personal phone number. Those kind of things. And on certain aspects, we were so just wanting to help people that we gave more of what we should have. And in the long run, almost it was taken complete advantage of. And that was a very, very big learning. And so we've had to step back and go, as much as we want people to understand this business, we can't force them to understand it by giving them more of ourselves, because actually they're just taking advantage of it. So that's, if we want to term it a failure, it was a failure of ours that we learned early on.
I think that's a good one for everybody out there.
Start how you want to finish.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
I have one last question for you ladies. I mean, being co-founders, being female entrepreneurs, what does female entrepreneurship mean to you?
All those hats.
So we grew up with still have a very strong mother in our life. But we had a very supportive dad as well. Dad had his own business. Like I said, as we mentioned earlier on, Mom built her way up from seamstress to quality technologist of Woolworths. And so we always had this, we never actually saw the inequality, if that makes sense.
Growing up
of the male-female dynamic. And as we went, I suppose our first sort of view of it was when we went into corporate, and even then we had such a strong foundation from our parents that, like, we would just go into these meetings and it wouldn't actually, we wanted to achieve what we wanted to achieve. So, like, I, for example, started out as a marketing coordinator in a very male-dominated company. And the genre that we worked in was it was rugby, as an example, very male-dominated. And I was a female, 22, 23 years old, going, no, I want to be the sponsorship manager here. That's my goal. And I didn't really think much of it. I just carried on going. And I suppose then, as you move higher up in the ranks, you start to see sort of the feminine, the aspect of it starting to sort of be a disadvantage to you. And in fact, it was why eventually I left corporate, because of coming up against that. Long story, save that for another day. But
we all have one.
But when we started our own business,
Absolutely.
It wasn't so much we wanted to create a female business, it was just obviously us as sisters wanting to. I've got a young daughter, and it's very important for us to see two women striving to build their own business and being leaders in their own field. And so we work with that way. And we haven't personally in our own business come up against the, what's the word? I've lost my word. The sort of female-male divide, but we have a very close work colleague that we work with who's very high up in her business, and she comes against it every day, and we often chat to her about how is she handling it. And it is tough for her. She sits on big boards in meetings, and she has been told, like, oh, is your husband joining us today, for example, because they don't feel she is qualified to have the conversation, but she's the CEO of the business,
Yeah.
So we do hear these qualifications, and it's sad. And I think for us, like, if we can just keep doing what we're doing and showing the younger generation, our sons and our daughters, lead by example, and this is how women are women, men are men, but we deserve equality within the workspace. We are just as qualified. That's the only thing we sort of can do in leadership. But we also giggle though, because we also believe pink is pink and blue is blue. And then if you want to take the trash out, you can. Like, I don't want to do that.
There's a blue job for taking out the trash. Like, I'm not doing it. But that's a home dynamic.
All for female equality, but you know, like you can also take the bins out. Like I don't want to take the bins out.
I also think it's very important to know that there is a home dynamic where you and your spouse decide on how you're going to run your household. And then when we go into leadership and into the working world, that's where I believe that there needs to be equality within the positions that we hold. I'm very much strong because within my time within corporates, I even changed my hair color once to be taken more seriously, because we are natural blondes, although the cash flow at the moment is, struggle. Sacrifice that we make as entrepreneurs, by the way. So, and to be taken seriously, I actually dyed my hair dark brown. Within my leadership space, and I was taken more seriously. That is the most scariest thing, and that's another story on a whole different level.
Insane.
But because people assume that we are blonde, beautiful, charismatic, that we're two dolly birds that actually don't know what we're talking about. And me and Carole chuckled about it a lot. And as leaders in this industry, and we are leaders in the learning and development industry within the retail space, we are not going to change ourselves. No. And we're going to raise our boys, and I've got two of them, to understand that just because I look like this does not mean that I cannot change the way that we are moving forward and how I lead my business.
Will be taken seriously.
And I will be taken seriously because I'm really good at what I do. And that's what I want. That's how I feel that women in leadership can move forward. And, we can just stay true to ourselves. Don't change who you are for others. Remain serious, yes, when it needs to happen, but also your personality is what makes you who you are. And those moms out there, your boys and your sons, like, let's raise them right. And that's what I'm doing. That's all we can do.
That's fantastic. I absolutely love everything that you just said. I mean, every woman out there has their story, like you said. Everyone has their story. And it's a constant challenge, sometimes, especially in a male-dominated environment where you have to prove yourself so much more. I mean, I have stories as well, which is we can leave for another day.
Everything for me is how you only realize that you have the story almost once you've left.
Yes.
When I was in it, I didn't think it was a thing.
Yeah.
When I left,
it was so normal.
Yeah, because it becomes so normal. Yeah.
Absolutely. But these are challenges that almost every woman in this world has to face in their own way. And it's a lovely lesson that I believe you are teaching your children, especially the daughters that you have. It's how to handle difficult situations, how to persevere in the environment that you're in. And believe it or not, they are watching, they are learning, they are listening. And it's wonderful what you guys are doing. And you know what, ladies, thank you so much for making this first show such a memorable one. I mean, it's amazing catching up and finding out so much more about you and your business. And
thank you for having me.
It's amazing. I feel honored to have you spend your time with me. You are two of the most amazing women I know. Highly intelligent, highly energetic, and I absolutely love you two to bits. I mean, I long for my sister every time. You are amazing. But thank you so much again. And before we wrap up, can you let the viewers and the listeners know where they can find you and what you're up to right now?
Okay, we're right here. No. You can find us on any of our socials, which at Carole and Amanda.
Don't forget the E.
Carole is spelled with an E, guys.
Don't drop it off. It's there for a reason.
It makes you unique. So at Carole and Amanda, any of our socials. At the moment, very exciting. I'm practicing what I preach, and I've just finished my studies to become a CETA accredited assessor, as well as how to assess, how to create assessment and design assessments. So that's very exciting for me. I've just completed that. And then within, Carole is doing an e-commerce course.
I'm busy doing an e-commerce course because a lot of our retailers, whilst we very much advocate the omni-channel approach, which is your brick and mortar store and an online, because your customers still want, especially now with life getting back to normal, people want to come out into the stores, they want to engage, they want to interact. But a lot of our retailers still want to have, obviously, naturally, a digital e-commerce presence. So I'm actually busy completing a course on e-commerce so that we can assist our retailers a bit more. So we like we said, we practice what we preach. We keep learning ourselves. And then in terms of our actual programs, we are in our fourth program of Engage for Impact, our winter program. And we're halfway through. We're about to go into week 6, so we're busy mentoring some beautiful stores at the moment. And then we actually we like to give back as well. So we're not just, when we say we're a retail community of support and learning, we also give back, and we hold every quarter free workshops. And we are next week scheduled to hold a free workshop on your understanding your inventory checklist, which is all about stock management and understanding how to receive your stock recorded and make sure that your team on your shop floor is doing what they need to do. So that's a free workshop next week. That's what we're busy working on. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's Carole and Amanda. That's who we are.
That is so amazing. Thank you so much for your time once again. I will be sharing the links to all your social media platforms as well as your courses in the description of the video. I wish you all of the best.
Too sad.
I love you guys so much. Just look at that. I mean, I would have you on again. I will reach out again. And I'm sure there's lots more that we can talk about, especially different topics. And I would love to have you on my show again. Thank you so much for being here. And
we are here for you.
No, thank you so much.
Amazing. I am positive that everybody is going to get some value out of this. And thanks again so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we're going to catch up soon. Hey?
You too.
All of the best. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.